welcome to another episode of...
Shut the fuck up.
So welcome to another episode...
Shut the fuck up.
So welcome
what?
to... So welcome...
What?
So welcome...
What?
10.
So welcome to
10.
another episode of But I Didn't Say That podcast. With you always, it's beautiful handsome Manu Healy. Dog-faced gremlin, Kevin.
This fucker.
And
Hey,
also...
the Steiners are not in the Hall of Fame yet. Huh?
No, they're not.
Big Papa Pump's getting in there, though.
They should, man.
So we are, what, a week away from WrestleMania?
Are we
we're
really?
2 weeks away. 2 weeks away from WrestleMania.
And we're barely on WrestleMania 4?
And we're barely on fucking WrestleMania 4 because these two fucking princesses
4 and
over
5.
here.
No, we're in WrestleMania 6.
Oh, yeah, we're WrestleMania 6.
Well,
finished
this is
4 and 5.
This is a review for 4 and 5. But we're not going to make it. I don't even think we're going to fucking make it to 10. But
Did you say 10? 10.
My God. You see, this is what I have to do. We could have watched all of them, but these fools are too busy doing their 10 chants.
Apparently, you're
Their fucking glorious chants. Wrestling like Chris Hero with
Oh,
t-shirts on.
You spend your 2 days off searching the internet for under the Chinese portal videos.
Hey,
No.
stop blending episodes.
We're a multiverse, dog.
But yes, this episode for today is WrestleMania 4 and 5, which happened in 1988 and 1989. Main thing about this was this is the first. So the main thing about this was this is our first introduction in the wrestling world to a one Donald J. Trump. We later find out in the future who becomes the president of the United States, something like that. Right?
What?
Yeah, we'll get to that later. But this is WrestleMania 4 and 5, which the main storylines were good. The execution,
I'll give you that
the
for
executions
4.
were.
I agree with you on 4.
So let's get into it. So the first one we're gonna discuss is WrestleMania 4. So after the huge success of WrestleMania 3, the storyline.
Wait. How do you go from WrestleMania 3? How do you go from that
I was about to explain it.
to fucking Trump?
I was about to explain it.
Well, you're taking your sweet ass time, fool.
Damn, you don't know how to sit. Okay.
We don't have time to set the mood. We're losing
So it
listeners as the seconds tick by.
So it doesn't really matter. The whole reason why Donald Trump, it was in WrestleMania 4 and 5 took place there was he had just bought the Trump Taj Mahal in Atlantic City.
That shit
And he
look
wanted
nice,
to
though.
showcase the capacity of what that can do. But he didn't realize that he had a shitty 19,000 tops 19,000 convention center in Atlantic City that when it actually took place, you look at it on screen and you're like, wow, that looks pretty big. But if you notice, there's no stands. There's nothing. It's just a flat row of people just sitting down. So the visual...
It looked nice, though.
So the visual for them to actually see the matches must have been horrible. Like people standing up and all this stuff.
That's what I was saying the whole time because I'm not seeing any large monitors. Like the people that were like maybe past the like 8th row, it must have been a pain in the ass.
The whole thing. This whole thing.
There isn't stadium seating until the like where the entrance is, where the wrestler entrance is.
So in production value, I guess
They took a huge step down.
The main thing for here we're starting for is the storyline. So it basically developed after Hulk Hogan defeated the Andre the Giant. That storyline continued for the whole year. So what happened was between WrestleMania 3 and WrestleMania 4, they introduced this new character, this new heel, $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase. So the whole idea of Ted DiBiase coming to the WWE was basically he was basically supposed to be like Vince McMahon, who can wrestle. So he never broke kayfabe. Apparently, this guy always traveled in jets. He always rode limousines. He had Virgil holding his luggage.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah, he never broke kayfabe. So there's a storyline that happens that he offers Hulk Hogan $1 million for the belt. He's like, I'll give you $1 million. Give me the WWF Championship. So Hogan's like, oh my God, it's $1 million, whatever, right? And he does this huge, hell no, right? Like he's yelling at it. Mm-hmm. And then he goes, okay, anybody that can defeat Hulk Hogan, I will give you $1 million. and all you gotta do is hand me the belt. So what happened was Andre the Giant was like, I'll take that money. Again, Andre the Giant, legend. So Andre the Giant takes the money. I think it's in January or in so at some point at the beginning of the year in '88. Andre the Giant defeats Hulk Hogan, and he wins the title. He hands the title to Ted DiBiase. So Ted DiBiase is walking around with the World Championship belt, even though he never won it. So the president at the time, which his name was Jack Tunney, he stripped DiBiase of the title, and he told him that you're not the champion. Andre is. If Andre doesn't want the title, then we're gonna vacate the title. And at WrestleMania 4, it set up.
So how come they didn't do the fucking Kevin Nash thing?
What?
With the fucking poke of death.
Because this is when wrestling actually still.
Yeah, this is
still trying to set up a wrestling thing.
Yeah.
So the whole point of this was they set up a 14-man tournament with Andre the Giant and Hulk Hogan getting 2 buys. To the second round.
Yeah, 1 buy.
So they didn't have to wrestle.
Because they wrestled each other. Like, this is what Kevin and I were like discussing right after. The format itself was pretty good. Having a tournament for the
belt,
for the championship. But what I didn't like were maybe like I would say 2/3 of the matches weren't real matches. Like they were countouts, yeah.
Well, that's
gimmick endings, and then that Hogan Andre match,
fucking stiff.
It was like 40. I would say 40 seconds of actual wrestling, and then after the worst finish ever, Hogan poses for like I swear to you 8 minutes, and then after that, Jesse the Body Ventura wants to upstage him, and then he starts posing for another 8. It's like, are you kidding me?
But then you're getting ahead of the tournament.
I fucking hated that, dog.
You're getting ahead of the tournament. So they set up the whole tournament. I don't know how they even set up the seedings because some of these people I don't even know how they got in. How the hell did fucking Morocco get in this?
I don't know. He must have been the top guy.
How the fuck did Honky Tonk Man get in this?
Well, Honky Tonk Man, he was in
garbage, dog.
Like some of these people, you see it. Okay, but the main. Let's go. The main thing was so Hogan.
I really don't want to talk about the fucking tournament because half of the matches.
So talk about the semifinals because that's the important part.
The
semifinals was who were the last 4 that were in the tournament?
It was DiBiase. Macho Man. What's his face? The fat dude. What the fuck's his name?
Who? What fat dude?
The one-man gang.
The one-man gang.
And who else?
And then the fool that fought Macho Man.
No, Macho Man fought the one-man gang.
No, remember?
Yes. Remember? That's how Macho Man advanced.
Yeah.
So it was the last 3.
Yeah, because Andre the Giant was supposed to go in, and I think it was supposed to be Andre and DiBiase, and he was like, I'm not going to fight him.
No, it was a fucking draw.
It was a draw with Hogan.
Which is fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
So that's how DiBiase got the buy.
DiBiase got the, See, that's what I'm talking about. Like, I don't even want to talk about it.
So the whole thing was to set up, it was supposed to be DiBiase versus Macho Man, because after WrestleMania 3, they started converting Macho Man into a face.
There's only 2 big things that came out of that.
Yeah.
You saw $1 Million Man with his heel tactics. He played his character perfectly. Like, this guy was born to play that gimmick, and that gimmick.
He was Leon.
He's like the best gimmick.
He was Leon the producer with Kevin as Virgil. Basically, he was.
And then the other thing is Macho Man. Like, even though some of those matches were like,
well, it's set up for Macho Man and DiBiase to be the main event.
The match changes, at least the trunk changes, all the different costume changes.
Oh, like, yeah,
fuck. You saw Macho Man be the peacock that he was. Like this is the guy that was meant to be champ, and then that finish at the end where he.
Where they brought out Hogan and
that's where they put like Elizabeth. That's that shot of Elizabeth on the shoulder while he holds the belt.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, we already spoiled it. Macho Man ends up winning the belt. That basically is WrestleMania 4. I don't think any other matches other than the tournament. Do you remember?
The Killer Bees.
So
I mean, there was a battle royal, but
honestly, WrestleMania 4 was basically the tournament. Yeah, and the only match you cared about was Macho Man because this sets up.
Oh, but they introduced like some of the fools I know now.
That was 5.
No, Ultimate Warrior came out in 4.
Yeah, he came out in 4.
Yeah, but I mean,
that
match really like.
But the whole thing for 4 was more of a setup for 5 because throughout 4 is when we start getting into the Macho Man era. Macho Man carries the belt. So throughout this point is where between WrestleMania 4 and WrestleMania 5, Macho Man and Hulk Hogan are taking on DiBiase and his family and Heenan, and they create the Mega Powers.
Right, but this has to go back to the last match from WrestleMania 4 is where DiBiase does come out, not with Virgil, because Hogan had done that lazy ass suplex where he didn't even drop himself. He just basically threw Virgil over his head.
Monster,
yeah. The point is, he comes out with Andre the Giant. Andre the Giant is getting involved in the match, so you see Macho Man whisper to Elizabeth, and she runs back and like, oh my god, who's she gonna bring? Of course, who is he gonna bring? Hogan. Hogan comes out.
Damn, what a dick.
Hogan comes up, but this is the first little inkling that the Mega Powers are gonna combine. And it was a nice moment when Hogan was in the ring with.
So Macho it's the introduction. It's the introduction of the eventual Mega Powers, who take over on SummerSlam, Survivor Series. So around January of '89 is when they start setting up the match for WrestleMania 5, which was supposed to be the match everybody wanted to see: Macho Man versus Hogan. So the way they do it is they play off Savage's real fury of anybody looking at Elizabeth.
So Alberto the Real status.
Yeah, he was the Alberto Del Rio of his time. Like anybody saw or talked. There's stories that he used to lock Elizabeth in the locker room while he wrestled.
It's some creepy stuff. And then like some of the exchanges they had beforehand, which they did show where he kind of like slapped her around. Like it's kind of disturbing to look at it now.
So it sets up a thing where they're fighting and Hogan gets hurt. No, I'm sorry, Elizabeth gets hit and Hogan carries her out. So Hogan
she took a bump though.
She took the bump. So Hogan carries her out, and then Savage is like, "Where the frick's Hogan? Like, where the hell's Hogan?" Right? And then at the end, they show him, like, they're, like, at the backstage emergency. And he's like, "What the hell are you doing with Elizabeth, man? I know you want to sleep with her, right?" Basically what he's trying to say, right?
Yeah.
And then he just goes crazy. So it sets up the main event for WrestleMania 5, which was the biggest match that I had seen at that point, which was Macho Man versus Hulk Hogan.
Over Andre Hulk Hogan WrestleMania 3? Wouldn't that be bigger?
No, for the time, that was the biggest match you can set up.
Yeah, because Macho Man was already the champ.
So again, WrestleMania 5, Trump Plaza. I don't remember seeing Trump as much in 4 as I did in 5.
Dude, Trump sat at the same place for both
But
WrestleManias.
5 was weird because he's sitting there with, I think, one of his sons, and then the whole front row is nobody but suits. People in suits, the first 2 rows.
When WrestleMania 5, they show him more because they're actually interacting with him.
Yeah, and they interact with him.
And they're going, like between matches, they're asking him questions and stuff. In WrestleMania 4, all they asked him about was the casino, and he was sitting there with his wife. So it was kind of weird because it was like they weren't really into it. And then WrestleMania 5, you start seeing how he's a mark, and then his kid's right next to him.
No, but just the way he sits, he's like leaning back. He never cheers. He just has that
because he's telling everybody else what's happening.
That little wry smile of his.
He's asking people around him like what's gonna happen.
But it's just weird. Like I don't know. The way they set him up, like he threw me off because there was no, you could see no crowd like reaction to like the stuff that was happening in the ring because there was a bunch of geezers just sitting in suits. Like,
that looks weird, skinny as fuck.
That's the other thing that bothered me.
And, you know, we haven't even talked about which was the biggest villain of WrestleMania 4 and 5, but we'll see if you guys can pick it up. But do you guys know the biggest villain in both WrestleManias? The biggest threat to any wrestler in both WrestleManias?
Oh, yeah, that step. That step that they kept slipping on.
Step, yeah. So, the way the ring was set up was, I'm guessing it had some sort of stairwell going down, which was the actual the run up to the ring. But there was a lower step.
Right.
So,
they should have put a ramp or something. They had like these 4 oddly place steps.
They should have just kept the carts.
So every
there's not enough space for the carts.
Every fucking wrestler, like if they didn't notice, like they would trip. You see them would trip on that step,
or they would kind of catch themselves in the last one.
Yeah, the best one is where they have. I think it's Bacho. I think it was in 5. No, when did Andre fight Jake in 5? Right?
5.
Yes, 5.
Where $1 Million Man grabs the bag. And he's running to the back. And he fucking trips on that shit.
Yeah,
I can stop laughing. But a lot of people tripped on it. But yeah, that was the biggest villain of WrestleMania 4 and 5. That fucking step.
Looking back, I remember the Andre the Giant, Jake the Snake Roberts match was one of the highlights for me as a kid. Just because I was like, yeah, he's going to bring out a snake. And then looking at it,
Well, you
and
like,
I saw it,
bring
I
out their
was like,
snakes? What the hell?
like, remember it as a kid? Like, it was one of the best matches, but it was basically the same thing as always.
Wait, he bought Damien out?
Yeah, it's always the same thing. Like, Andre ties himself up.
I told him no.
There's no full match.
No. So I told before we started watching WrestleMania 1, I told Kevin, hey, no, one thing I want you to see when we see Andre the Giant in WrestleMania is look how they clown Cena for his 5 moves of doom, right? And I go, look at Andre the Giant. He has 5 moves of doom too. He does a bear hug. He does a corner hit
with the ass shit.
With the ass shit, yeah, where he hit like a hip back. He always ties himself for the ropes. Always.
Why?
Always. Like you always see him set himself up, go,
Yeah.
and then he flips
kinda,
over,
falls
yeah.
back and then he ties them up.
Yes. Like he has moves too. Like they're all stingy.
It's just like some of these matches. I'm like, as a kid, I was like, yeah, and then I'm like, that wasn't
Because the
even a
guys
real
were bigger.
match.
Because the guys were because we were more into when we were kids. The guys were like grander than life. Like Jake, fuck. That'd be dope if I could walk around with a fucking snake in the back in my bag and be like, oh, someone pissed me off. I whip out that snake and you know.
Well, you ain't blessed like me, man.
Or being a 7'4". All right, little man.
Yeah.
All right, Xavier.
Archie. Hey,
All right, Xavier.
Hey, you didn't stunt double in that little man for Trapped in the Closet?
This.
Was it you? You blessed. But no, the thing with that was they're larger than life. Look at the Ultimate Warrior. That match with Rick Rude sucked.
Yeah,
it sucked. The ending was even worse.
I think they bear hugged for like 10 minutes.
You know what's funny? The year before, Jesse the
it was
Body
better
was
than
talking
4,
about how Rick Rude, that guy was cut. But then compared to the freaking monster that Ultimate Warrior was, it's like, man, that fool was lean as hell. Because Ultimate Warrior was huge.
That fool gets roided up, though, dog.
Him. That's all natty, babe. He's natty.
Him and The Rock, man. That's another.
Well, Morocco was more of a cokehead. Morocco was a cokehead that was in roids. Imagine that fucking wildebeest. Okay, so the main matches in WrestleMania 5 were...
The ones I remember is the Jake, Andre, the main event.
Who was the tag team? There was Demolition against the
it was
against the Powers of Pain and Fuji.
Yeah, and Fuji, which sucked.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah.
Didn't the Heart Foundation fight for the titles?
No, the Heart Foundation fought they fought Greg the Hammer Valentine and
and the Honky Tonk Man.
Your favorite Honky.
Yeah. And
garbage.
Was this the one where Bobby the Brain Heenan fought in that
Red Rooster?
Oh, he fought the Red Rooster. WrestleMania 4 was where he fought.
That was when he fought
the Bulldogs.
Oh no, but the best one was
when Matilda came out.
This was
the best one. This is the introduction of the Brooklyn Brawler.
Oh right, that's right.
The Brooklyn Brawler came out.
How are you forgetting the fucking Rock and Roll Express?
The Rock and Roll.
No,
I mean, the Rockers.
Like I said,
against the Twin Towers, where
the debut of HBK, Doug, and fucking Brazzers legend Marty Jannetty.
Brazzers legend. Mr. WrestleMania.
Hacksaw came out here too, right? Hacksaw had
another fucking.
He had come out.
Hacksaw had
trash, though.
Yeah, he did.
Oh yeah, he was part of the tournament. Hacksaw. Yeah, what the fuck? How the fuck did Hacksaw get in that tournament?
Because he's trash, bro. Got a cock and balls contract.
No, well he had won the Royal Rumble that year.
But the Royal Rumble didn't count for anything back then.
No, but he was. I remember.
No, but I mean, if they gave him the Rumble,
I know I'm missing one.
Steamboat
didn't fight 5, huh?
No. 4 is where he fought when he came out with his kid.
He fought Macho Man.
That's 3.
No,
yeah, you're still...
no.
You're still on 3.
He fought Macho Man the first round.
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
Oh no, he fought the Rock.
No, he didn't. He fought fucking. Why are you going back on 4? We're already on 5.
Dude, because that's the problem. They kind of blend because there's a lot of filler matches. And a lot of
both these WrestleManias are fucking nacho matches, though.
The main thing with 5 was the main event, like the whole setup to it. So it basically is about 15-minute match. Freaking Macho Man carrying the match like he always does. just to set up Hogan getting roided out. And, I'm sorry, Hogan hulking up.
You mean stiffing, Doug?
Hogan hulks up, does his moves, leg drop, 1, 2, 3, champ once again. Because I gotta promote No Holds Barred. That was another thing. Remember they had the trailer?
God,
the trailer for No Holds Barred. Fucking Rip Taylor. Rip him.
Yeah.
I remember watching that movie in the theaters. I was so impressed.
Dude, I watched that shit on Netflix. God!
Hot trash.
I'd rather watch fucking Yoga Hosers.
Wow. That movie's hot trash.
I'd rather watch No Holds Barred.
No, Doug. Hulk Hogan can't act for shit.
They can't.
Except in that Gawker video.
Of course.
Of course.
I end this shit, fool, like I'm gonna end you. Xavier Woods.
So again, this was not... So WrestleMania 4 and 5.
Were me?
Yeah, there wasn't that many. Estimated crowd size, what do you think it was?
You just said it was like
like 17 or something.
19, yeah, it was like 19,000. It made okay money. But again, like McMahon had done before, 2 buzz WrestleManias, big. 2 buzz WrestleManias. The next WrestleMania was one I truly remember because it was the first WrestleMania I had seen live. The other ones I had seen like on a tape delay. But the next one is the one I saw live, which was WrestleMania 6.
Toronto, right?
1990 at the Toronto Sky Dome, which the main event was the other big match that everyone wanted to see at the time, which was the Ultimate Powers Collide.
Yeah.
Ultimate Warrior versus Hulk Hogan. We'll see that. We'll try to see that before WrestleMania Orlando, but I can't promise it. If you enjoyed this episode, visit us on Twitter at bidst_podcast or our YouTube channel, But I Didn't Say That podcast. Or just come to our website, butididn'tsaythat.com, where we have past episodes and blogs.